Hi, it's Matt here from thatleisureshop.com and I'm joined by John from Maypole. Hi John, how are you?
Hey Matt, how you doing?
Yeah, very well. So today we are going to demonstrate to you how you fit a motorhome or campervan cover to this Ford Transit Custom. So John, just tell us a little bit about covers. The elephant in the room, some people don't like them. They say that they cause damp, condensation, they scratch. It's just not true, is it?
It really isn't, no. We've designed this material. It is a 4-ply polypropylene.
Well said.
Thank you. So well said. So we've designed this material to breathe. So it's a fully breathable material. And as you rightly showed there, Matt, we have a really soft liner on the inside, and you see now that isn't going to damage or scratch.
It feels really soft.
It really is, yep.
And this is, how many layers is this cover?
So yeah, this is 4 layers of material sandwiched together. So you've got an outer layer which is not waterproof, it's actually water resistant. So the water will run off the material, majority of the water will run through, but then it's fully breathable. So when it's breathable, then obviously it will dry out if it gets really wet. And then when you turn it over to the inside, like you say, there's a really soft inner here. And you can see there, obviously, that it's breathing with the holes through here that allows the air and the moisture to dry out once the conditions allow it to do so.
And the benefits of fitting a cover are pretty obvious, aren't they? They protect it from the sun fading paint, from bird lime, tree sap if you're parked under a tree. That's really important. But there's a huge security benefit as well, isn't there? You can see we've kept this door zip access open. You can see there's a very new, very smart campervan, and it is a really smart campervan underneath, but covered up it just looks like a van, doesn't it?
Could be absolutely anything. But you are right, Matt. One of the hardest things obviously with a campervan is to clean the roof, and obviously you get your leaves obviously and the trees obviously dropping their sap on the roof in an autumn winter time, and then obviously you get birds on the roof as well, obviously doing their business on the roof. So yeah, it keeps the worst of the elements obviously off the roof, which is the hardest thing to clean, but as you rightly say, it protects a complete barrier around, which is going to keep the worst of the elements. Obviously your rain, sleet, or snow obviously up here on the hills. You've got snow, you're going to keep the worst of your elements obviously off the vehicle through the winter months.
Yeah, indeed. So one thing, this camper has nothing on the roof. There's no solar panel, there's no TV area or satellite dish or anything like that. So fitting the cover's actually been pretty straightforward. We'll demonstrate that for you in a second. But if you have got any kind of fixtures or fittings on the roof, then you need to consider that. And remember, get the van ready to have the cover fitted. Don't leave anything inside. There's a whole load of preparation you should do on the inside in terms of, don't leave fresh food in there if you're going to pack the van away for the winter. But you can find out more about that at thatleisureshop.com/winter, where you can download our whole guide on how to prepare yours for winter. Right, let's get this cover off and start from the beginning.
Fantastic.
This is the Maypole motorhome campervan cover, designed for the Ford Transit. This is how it comes in the box. So it's got a handy handle on the top so you can lift it and pack it away. However, it comes in a really good bag with a drawstring on. I have to say, it's not one of those products where there's a prize for getting it back in the bag, is there?
It'll never go quite that size again, but we'll get somewhere close.
So it's a big grey bag, John. How do you tell where the front is, where the back is?
So there is a label on the cover, which we will find in a minute.
So we've put the front on the floor, we've gone for the back reflectors, and we're going to lift it over the van and drag it over the top of the van.
Again, come up.
Now the elastic around this is really useful just to hook it under the front spoiler. That makes it really easy to fit. I have to say, with two of you, it's much easier, isn't it, than with one?
Certainly is.
If you're on your own, you probably are going to need some steps. One of the big features of these covers is the feather soft lining on the inside. That's fair, isn't it?
Yep.
Which means you can safely drag it over the van. This camper's been cleaned before we've put the cover on, so there's no dirt on it, and you can safely drag the cover over. It's not going to scratch it. Now it's worth noting that this cover has a bit of sag at the back. That's been deliberately designed to accommodate a bike rack. So if you've got a campervan with a bike rack fitted, you can leave the rack on. This campervan is 5.4 metres bumper to bumper. This is a 5.9 metre cover. They come in universal sizes at different sizes, so you could buy a smaller cover and have a tighter fit. Today we're just demonstrating this cover that would allow for a bike rack, which this camper doesn't have fitted. But you can tighten it up, can't you, and put it tight and taut, which we'll do now. Pull it tight, there we go. So we've got the cover on. There are some straps that then clip on the bottom that you throw underneath the van. Have you got the straps?
They're inside, Matt. You clown, you utter clown.
So handily, there's a zip, okay? Now this cover features a zip both sides, which if you're left or right hand drive van, that's ideal. So we can easily get into the cab, but actually we want to get inside. This is a near side sliding door camper. So maybe don't leave the bag and the bits inside before you put the cover on. Here they are.
There they are.
I'm going to put this inside, stop it blowing away. There we go. So the straps, they just come with a buckle at each end and they're adjustable as well. So you just feed those under the van, which is going to pull it tight under the van and stop it blowing off. Now one little note on the zip. At the bottom of the zip, there's this handy little Velcro strap that just pulls the cover together and keeps the zip done up. Without this, the zip is just going to pull apart and eventually it's going to unzip itself like that. So really important, we fit this Velcro strap just there. Now here's one of the buckles to receive the forgotten strap. The next task is to throw this under the van. This is where a little child might be helpful to crawl under and help you. If you are having trouble getting the straps under the van, you don't want to be climbing on wet grass. I mean, it's soaking wet here today. Take a broom, just simply tie the strap around the top of the broom and just feed it underneath. Here you go, John.
Yep.
Got it?
I got it.
You could, of course, use a tent pole, anything, in fact, a walking stick, anything long that's going to feed under the van. To find the buckles, just look for the double stitched line, which is obviously reinforcing where the buckle attaches onto the cover, and they are really, really strong. So the cover's on, we've then spent, and it's worth spending a good 5-10 minutes just going around and tensioning it. You may need to just move the cover around the van a little bit, mind you, and just pull the straps tight, make sure it's on securely. Now you can see that this cover is still a little bit saggy on this Transit Custom, but that's because it's a universal cover. So it's designed, it will also fit a Volkswagen T6, T32, Peugeot Boxer, Citroen Relay, Fiat Ducato, so it will fit a whole range of small camper vans, won't it?
Yep.
And as a result of it being a universal cover, they're much more affordable and they do the job perfectly. And it's definitely worth spending that extra time just tightening it up, isn't it?
I think, yeah, definitely worth checking range.
How long do you think it took to put on?
I think that's 5-10 minutes, Matt. I think
Easy.
that's 5 to 10 minutes.
Amazing. Yeah, 10 minutes to fit, no more.
Yep.
10 minutes to tension. Job done.
Yep.
Right, let's see if we can take it off.
Let's try.
So the first thing is to undo the back straps, just loosen them off. And as I said earlier, we're going to leave them threaded, which is going to save time. And then we need to undo the straps that have gone underneath. So we're fortunate and we've got quite a lot of space here. Obviously if you're in a storage site and you've got camper vans all around you, this bit's going to get tricky where you start wanting to roll it up. You can see the van totally unscratched, not damaged at all, easy to pull off. This inside soft membrane makes that really easy. So now it's the challenge of rolling it up. Easy as that. Well done, sir.
Top job.
So John, as we have discussed already, this is a 5.9 metre long cover.
Yep.
There are other sizes in the range. They start at, what's the smallest?
So we cover all the way from 5 metre motorhomes all the way up to about 8 metres.
Yeah.
And it depends which type of motorhome you've got, whether it's obviously a low or a high top, and then obviously a coach built. Or a conversion like the one we've got here.
So from a 5 metre camper van like this, so
Yep.
short wheelbase VW, Transit, all the way up to an 8 metre, that's a tag axle coach built motorhome.
That's right, yeah.
Fantastic. And there's also a rooftop range, isn't there, where it just covers the roof?
So yeah, we are one of the only companies that have not only a full cover, We have a top cover as well, and we do top covers for motorhomes and for caravans, which is a good point as well. So we've got all of the leisure vehicles covered in our range.
So in the caravan range, do you know the sizes that are available for a caravan?
So yeah, we go right up now to 8 metres, 7.5, 8 metres for the twin axle, wide Baileys, Adrias, that kind of thing, right the way through, and then right the way through to small caravans as well. So yeah, sort of 4.5 metre little small little caravans. So this, again, for our full range of vehicles are covered.
And there's horsebox covers as well, aren't there?
We do have a horsebox cover. Yeah, we have a horsebox cover as well.
Now all of them, if you're interested in buying one, are available to buy from us at thatleisureshop.com. Just go and search covers. You'll find them in our winter section of the website. So if you're thinking of securing and covering up your horsebox, caravan, campervan or motorhome, then head to thatleisureshop.com. There's a whole range to choose from. Thanks for watching, and thanks to John from
Pleasure,
Maypole.
mate. Absolute pleasure. Really great morning.
A cold morning in North Somerset.
It has been a beautiful backdrop. Beautiful backdrop.
It is a beautiful view. But thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate your help. I have to say, doing it on my own would have been much harder and taken a bit longer. But yeah, 2 people, I think that's the key.
Absolute pleasure.